The words are flying past you, but none of them are landing. You're in the middle of a difficult conversation, maybe even an argument, and you can feel a familiar pressure building in your chest. Your own words, the perfect rebuttal you had just a moment ago, have completely evaporated. It feels like a dense fog has rolled into your mind, obscuring every thought. Your throat tightens, not with sadness, but with a strange, concrete kind of silence. You want to speak. You desperately want to explain yourself, but the connection between your brain and your mouth feels severed. To the person across from you, your silence looks like a choice. They see it as coldness, defiance, or a calculated move to punish them. But inside, you are screaming. You feel trapped behind a wall of glass, unable to participate in the reality happening right in front of you. If you have ever felt this paralyzing shutdown, this video is for you. This experience has a name, and it is not what they call it. You are not being difficult, you are not being manipulative, and you are not broken. There is a profound and logical reason why this happens, and understanding it is the first step to changing everything. For your entire life, you may have been told that your silence is a form of aggression. Partners, parents, and even friends might interpret it as you giving them the silent treatment to control or punish them. But what if that entire frame is wrong? What if I told you that your silence isn't a weapon, it's your emergency brake? It's an automatic protective system in your body that slams on the brakes when it senses you're headed for a catastrophic emotional crash. It's not designed to hurt anyone else. It's designed to save you. If you're watching this, you've probably already tried to figure this out on your own. You know, it doesn't feel like a choice, but you haven't had the words to explain why. That's what we're here to change today. In this video, we're going to explore the 3 deep psychological reasons this happens. We will dive into the biology of overwhelm, the echoes of your past, and the fear of causing harm. And most importantly, stick with me, because later in the video, I'll give you a practical toolkit you can actually use to manage this response and explain it to the people in your life. You'll leave this video not just feeling understood, but feeling equipped. Let's begin with what's happening inside your body. The first and most immediate reason you go silent is that your system is overloaded. To understand this, we need to look at your brain's #1 job, which isn't to make you happy, it's to keep you alive. Deep inside your brain is a tiny almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Think of it as your body's hypersensitive smoke detector. It constantly scans your environment for threats, both physical and emotional. When you're in a heated argument, the rising tension, the loud voices, the critical words all register to your amygdala as a threat. It can't tell the difference between a tiger and a terrifying conversation. It just screams danger. This triggers a state psychologists call emotional flooding, or an amygdala hijack. A cascade of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline floods your system, preparing you for fight or flight. But for many people, especially those who are sensitive or have past trauma, there's a third option: freeze. This is where the silence comes in. Think of your brain's capacity for rational thought and speech as your home's electrical system. When you're flooded, it's like plugging too many high-power appliances into one outlet. The system overloads, and to prevent a fire, a circuit breaker flips, cutting the power. Your brain does the exact same thing. It shuts down non-essential functions, and in that moment, complex language is deemed non-essential. All resources are diverted to survival, scanning and managing the internal storm. This is why your mind goes blank and your throat feels tight. The part of your brain that forms sentences, the prefrontal cortex, has temporarily gone offline. Imagine a professional named Alex who is sitting down for a performance review. They expect positive feedback, but are suddenly met with harsh, unexpected criticism from their boss. Alex feels a hot flush rise up their neck. Their boss asks, "Do you have anything to say for yourself?" And the answer is nothing. Not because Alex agrees or is being defiant, but because the circuit breaker has flipped. Their brain is in pure survival mode, and the power to the speech center has been cut. The silence isn't a strategy, it's a system crash. It's your body physically preventing you from engaging with a perceived threat. When your mind goes blank, it's not empty, it's a fortress protecting your core. The drawbridge is up, and no words can get in or out. This isn't a failure of character, it's a feature of your neurobiology. It is an ancient survival mechanism that is simply misfiring in a modern context. Your brain is trying to save your life from an argument, which is both unhelpful and incredibly protective. So, if your mind has ever gone blank in a tense moment, it's not a flaw. It is your nervous system doing its absolute best to protect you from what it perceives as an overwhelming threat. But this goes deeper than just biology. For many of us, this silence is a learned behavior. And that brings us to our second reason, silence as a learned shield. Our brains are incredible learning machines, especially when it comes to safety. From a very young age, we learn which behaviors lead to connection and which lead to pain. Imagine a child growing up in a home where expressing an opinion or a feeling was consistently met with anger. Perhaps their sadness was dismissed as being dramatic, or their anger was punished severely. Maybe they tried to speak their truth, only to have their words twisted and used against them later. That child's brain learns a critical, life-saving lesson. Expressing yourself is dangerous. Speaking leads to conflict, misunderstanding, and pain. Silence, on the other hand, leads to a fragile kind of peace. Silence means you don't get yelled at. Silence means you don't add fuel to the fire. Silence means you survive. You were taught that words can be landmines, so you learned to stop walking. This isn't a conscious decision. It's a deeply ingrained program running in the background of your mind. So now, as an adult, when you enter a situation that feels even remotely similar to those early experiences, that old program activates automatically. The feeling of being unheard, judged, or at risk of escalating a conflict triggers the silence is safety protocol. Your shutdown isn't about the present moment argument over who was supposed to take out the trash. It's an echo of the past, a ghost from a time when your silence was your only shield. And it's critical to understand this next point. That response wasn't a sign of weakness then, it was a sign of your incredible ability to adapt and survive. It was a brilliant strategy that a younger version of you developed to stay safe in an unsafe world. The problem is that this strategy is now outdated. It's causing disconnection in relationships where you might actually be safe to speak. But your brain, in its effort to protect you, doesn't know the difference yet. It sees the familiar signs of conflict and defaults to the only program it knows for survival. And if that's your story, if you've ever felt like your voice was a liability, your response makes perfect, logical sense. If this is resonating with you, if you've ever felt like your silence was your only shield, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing for more content that helps you understand your own mind and empowers you to write new stories. Now, there's a third reason for going silent, one that lives in the space between an involuntary reaction and an intentional choice. This is the fear of harm, or using silence as a conscious break. This happens in the moment you feel a tidal wave of anger or hurt rising inside you. You're flooded, but you haven't completely shut down yet. Instead, there's a terrifying clarity in that moment. You know with absolute certainty that the next words to leave your mouth will be radioactive. They will be hurtful, destructive, and you will not be able to take them back. In this scenario, your silence is a deliberate act of self-restraint. It is a desperate attempt to prevent the conversation from escalating into a full-blown catastrophe. This is often confused with malicious stonewalling, but the intent is the polar opposite. Stonewalling is a wall you build to punish the other person. It's an act of aggression disguised as passivity. This conscious silence is a dam you build to protect everyone, including yourself, from the flood. Consider a couple in a heated argument. One partner is so hurt and angry they can feel a cruel insult right on the tip of their tongue. They know that saying it will win the battle, but might cost them the war. So they bite their tongue and say, "I can't talk about this right now." To their partner, this might feel like a withdrawal or an abandonment. But from the inside, it is an act of profound, if painful, love for the relationship. It's choosing a moment of disconnection to prevent a lifetime of damage. This isn't avoidance, it's a form of emotional regulation and maturity. It's the wisdom to know when your words will be swords instead of bridges. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can say is nothing at all. Let's be honest for a moment. The worst part of all of this isn't the silence itself. It's the loneliness that comes after. It's the agony of your desperate act of self-preservation being seen as a calculated act of war. Now, understanding the biology and the psychology is one thing, but living with it is another. The real pain comes from how other people see our silence, doesn't it? When your shutdown is met with accusations like, "So you're just going to give me the silent treatment?" it pours salt in the wound. You're already drowning in overwhelm, and now you're being handed a heavy coat of guilt and blame to wear too. It creates an impossible feedback loop. The more you're accused of being silent, the more threatening the situation becomes, and the more your brain doubles down on the shutdown to protect you. And what about when you're not given a choice? What if a parent, a partner, or a boss is standing over you, demanding that you speak right now? This is a truly no-win situation. Your system is physically incapable of producing coherent words, yet the demand for them becomes another layer of attack. It forces you deeper into silence while simultaneously punishing you for it. It can leave you feeling powerless, broken, and utterly alone in your experience. This leaves you with a burning question. How do you possibly explain an experience you can't even speak through? Okay, we have journeyed through the deep why behind your silence. Now let's get practical and talk about the how. So now that we have a name for what's happening, we can start to build a toolkit. Here are 3 actionable strategies you can start using today. Number 1, the pause signal. The goal here is not to win the argument, but to manage your nervous system. Work with your loved ones to agree on a pause signal you can use when you feel yourself starting to get flooded. This can be a simple phrase like, "I'm flooded, I need 5 minutes," or "My circuit breaker just flipped." It can even be a nonverbal gesture, like making a T sign with your hands for timeout. This externalizes the problem and makes it about a shared process, not a personal failing.
Number 2, the I statement formula for later.
This is how you answer that question of how to explain it. When you are calm and re-regulated, you can use this script to explain what happened. When we start to argue about something important, I sometimes get overwhelmed and my brain freezes. It's not that I don't care about you or what you're saying, it's that I literally can't think of the words. I need about 15 minutes of quiet to let my system come back online, and then I promise we can continue. Number 3, one small step. When you are in that silent, frozen state, trying to force a full conversation is impossible. Instead, aim for just one small action to keep you anchored in the present. This could be as simple as writing down one single word on a piece of paper about how you feel, like scared or angry or stuck. This tiny act can be a lifeline, proving to yourself that you haven't disappeared completely. So the next time you feel that familiar fog roll in and your throat starts to tighten, I want you to remember this. You are not broken. Remember the 3 layers we uncovered today. It might be your overloaded system hitting the circuit breaker to prevent a total meltdown. It might be your learned shield, a ghost from the past rising up to protect you from a familiar danger. Or it might be your conscious break, an act of maturity to prevent you from saying something that could cause irreparable harm. Often it's a mix of all 3. Each of these reasons reframes your silence from an act of aggression to an act of protection. It's not that you're difficult, it's that you're dysregulated. It's not a weapon. It's a desperate SOS signal from a nervous system that is drowning. Understanding this is the key. It allows you to have compassion for yourself in those terrifying, silent moments. And it gives you a foundation from which to build new ways of communicating, not just for others, but for yourself. You deserve to be understood, most of all by you. If this video was helpful, please click the like button and subscribe for more content that helps you make sense of your inner world. And now I want to hear from you. Share your own story with respectful silence in the comments. Reading through them helps us all realize we are not alone in this experience.